What's up, everybody? Ballard here on a Tuesday afternoon, just after 1 o'clock Central Time, talking up Penn State football today in our Let's Talk series. Which I think I want to keep this going. This is good. I like this. We got a couple people watching already. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I know people are probably at work and stuff, so we probably won't get too much of a crowd. But if you want well, let me say this. If there's something you want me to address or talk about in this series, it could be anything college football or sports, let me know. I will happily look into it. But today I want to talk about Penn State because I think that Penn State could be a really dangerous team this next year in 2025. I think you're looking at a really good season ahead. Which, speaking of, let's change this real quick. That's about Penn State colors right there. Okay. You're looking at a really good schedule ahead. I've already predicted their schedule, but I'll pull it up again. They have some interesting games. Obviously, Ohio State. I think they get them at home this time, or did they just play them at home? They either get them at home or on the road. Maybe it's on the road, but let's see. Did they play at home this past year? At Ohio State, at Michigan State. They don't play Michigan. So this is their schedule. I predicted them 11-1 with a loss to Ohio State. I went bold and said they beat Oregon, but they could go 10-2. They could probably go 12-0. When I look at Penn State this next year, Drew Aller comes back, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, everyone's coming back. Everyone except maybe Tyler Warren and maybe a defensive back here or there that's like out of eligibility. This is a team that's going to be well positioned to win the Big Ten and possibly make a run at a national championship and win their first since 1986 when they beat Miami back in the day. But I think Penn State's in a good position to do big things in 2025. I think that they do, by the way, have their spring game on, and it doesn't look like it'll be televised, but 2 p.m. Eastern at Beaver Stadium on April 26th. So a week from this Saturday, they will have their spring game. Hopefully, someone provides some highlights. Maybe we'll look at it. I definitely will on my own. But what's cool, or I don't know if it's cool if you're Penn State, but it is interesting for college football. Uh, they have from last year's college football playoff, you have Oregon, you have at Ohio State and Indiana. The three other Big Ten teams that made the playoff last year are all on Penn State's schedule. Two of them at home, one on the road with the Buckeyes, which I don't want to pick Penn State to win that game until I see them do it. I think I've had picked them to win it last year either way, but I think that their schedule and everything sets up really nicely outside of that road game with Ohio State. I think even that Oregon game, if you think back to last year, everything they had, um, and they were a player or two away from winning the Big Ten over Oregon, but they didn't. But they came they came really really close, um, and I just man, I think Penn State's in a position to do it now. If anything, I can say negatively right now about Penn State, it's that it's James Franklin. There's nothing wrong with James Franklin. I think he has shown to be a terrific head coach. He just can't win the big one. He's like the position of Jim Harbaugh before he started beating Ohio State, and now he's with the Chargers. But it was like, when's he going to do it? When's he going to do it? When's he going to do it? Well, it's like that with James Franklin. You can't beat Michigan or Ohio State. Now, they got Michigan in 2019 and they got Ohio State back in 2016. So he has before. But, it's there's some challenges to overcome if you're James Franklin. But I think that it's nothing too um I don't wanna say too major, but, like, how do I wanna put this? They can overcome it. It's not the biggest challenge in the world, but um, it's not the biggest challenge in the world. It's not the toughest. It's doable. Ultimately, I think they're in a good spot. So, let me do that. Okay. So, anyway, Penn State. You look at their schedule. I got them 11-1 loss to Ohio State. I think they could get Oregon at home. I really do. I really do. They could go 10-2 at worst. That's how good I think this Penn State team could be. Do you think about Nick Singleton comes back, Katron Allen, Drew Aller at quarterback, deny Dennis Sutton on defense and company? Nevada Wolfpack, win. FIU, win. Villanova, win. Oregon could be a loss, but I'm sold on them. I think they could win it at home. That might be your whiteout. Let's give them a win for now. UCLA, not very good. It's on the road. It is at the Rose Bowl. It is going to be a tough environment, but it's again, even if it's close, I think Penn State can pull it off. And that's really where they've struggled. It's not even just that they can't beat Ohio State or Michigan on a regular. They can't win the close games, or they couldn't at first. Um, I really wanna pick them to win in Columbus. They haven't won in Columbus since 2011. They haven't beaten Ohio State since 2016. That was at home, and they played every year, I think, except for COVID, but since. So, Nebraska win, even though I do like Nebraska as a somewhat Big Ten dark horse. I don't think they make the Big Ten title, but they could. I like them to be kind of a contender this year. Indiana, I think Signegi, the new coach, took them to the playoffs last year. Right, interesting run last year. I think they bring some good stuff back that they could use to better their team and hopefully go forward if you're Indiana. But Penn State should be better than that. That should be a win there. Could be an afternoon CBS game, whatever, on November 8th. At Michigan State, we've talked about Michigan State lately. Yeah, I like Jonathan Smith. I like the hire. I just need to see it. And I think it's going to take a couple years. So I like Penn State to win that game right now. So um, there's um there's some good wins on this schedule, I think. Oregon and Ohio State really are like overall toughest games. At Iowa's tough, at Kinnick, but Penn State has shown in years before that they can win there. That's Saturday, October 18th. So, um, that's the schedule. I like it. 11-1, lost to Ohio State. Bold claim they beat Oregon. If they don't, they're 10-2. They're in the playoffs even still yet again. That is Penn State's schedule. So, what's up, Octavian? How you doing, man? Um, I want to read from this article too. Johnny McGonigal from PennLive.com, Penn State spring transfer portal preview, positions to watch, roster math, and more. So when you talk about Penn State here, we look at their schedule. Then you got to look at the portal. You got to look at the roster, positions to watch. This is from PennLive.com. Johnny McGonigal, as I said, 9 hours ago, posted this morning here on Tuesday, April 15th, 2025, tax day. We won't get into that, but just to let you know. Uh, Penn State football is still carrying on with spring practice, but another transfer portal window is upon us. How will James Franklin and the Nittany Lions approach it? Article goes on, talks about when the portal and all that, how that works. Positions of need. Obviously, Nick Singleton comes back, Katron Allen. You don't need a running back, but they do say wide receiver. So you lose a couple guys to the portal, especially though the biggest loss, Tyler Warren to the NFL, generational tight end last year for Penn State. Even after adding Troy's Devontae Ross and USC's Kyron Hudson in the winter portal, athletic director Pat Kraft said it's no secret the Nittany Lions will be on the hunt for receiver help in the spring. Then it obviously, like we just said, after losing Tyler Warren to the NFL and Harrison Wallace III and Amari Evans to the portal, Penn State will be pushing to give Drew Aller all the weapons he needs to succeed, except one or two additions this spring, or expect one or two additions this spring if the talent is available. They need to go after that. They definitely need to go after that. Um, Defensive tackle Zane Durant returns. They lost. Let's see, Keziah Izzard, Devon J. Thomas, redshirt freshman Xavier Gillum has had a nice spring. Alonzo Ford is coming off a season injury. I don't really know these names to be honest. Defensive tackle, defensive end. Zariah Fisher, I know. Denied Dennis Sutton. Abdul Carter is gone. Smith Filbert enters the portal. They did get Anai White from Texas A&M, but they still need to add edge rush help. I could tell you that without even reading that, but this just confirms it, folks. Denied Dennis Sutton can't do it on his own. Um, yeah. Thing is, I mean, they did. Was it last season or this off season early on, or I think it was last year? They do have that receiver Julian Fleming from Ohio State. Interesting to see how he works out this year. But when I look at the portal in Penn State, you don't usually see it with James Franklin. He is a guy that loves to recruit and use key pieces, but he can take advantage, not so much of the NIL, but he can take advantage of the portal. Um, they do bring in a few transfers each year, not the biggest majority as far as being one of the top schools to do it in college football, but when they do, it's really good. It's good talent, and it does benefit them long term. So expect them to use the portal pretty well this offseason, Penn State. So running back, they don't really need that. Let's see. Corner, they probably need that. AJ Harris, they got Elliott Washington, Audavian Collins, Zion Tracy. Thing is, the talent is there. They do quarterback. It's obviously Drew Allers to lose. Mm, they need a long term guy though. They need that backup. You know, for Penn State. Other than that, I think they're in good position. So again, if you're watching this back, thank you. Let me know in the comments what you think about Penn State this year. We are live, but again, if you're watching it back, we appreciate you. Uh, I mean, we got a long off season ahead. I could say that every day, but I feel like I still need to say it now because we're only halfway through April. We're not quite halfway through the off season. Maybe we are at this point, but there's still like 3 months, 3 or 4. And when I look at a team like Penn State, I say this is a team that had one of the best defenses, probably the best in the Big Ten. They struggled against Ohio State, who they lost to, and they struggled against Notre Dame. And of course, they did lose the Big Ten to Oregon. With everything they bring back, then there's some pieces that they lost. Now what? Now what? what do you do if you're the Nittany Lions? You got the schedule set up pretty nicely, but you got to go into the portal. I don't really know who all's out there that we could really talk about going to Penn State. I will look at Penn State's transfer portal though. JB Nelson is entered yesterday from from Penn State. He's an interior offensive line. I haven't really heard that name, so he's probably young. Smith Vilbert is off the edge. They lost him. Everything you lose, no matter what team it is, you got to find ways to make up for it in recruiting or transfer portal. It's like you never want to have like an empty space on the roster. I don't think Smith Vilbert leaves. He's predicted to North Carolina. Let's see. Mackay Flowers predicted to Akron. He has yet to go there. Let's see. Cam Miller to Rutgers. Harrison Wallace to Ole Miss. Mackay Flowers. King Mack actually came back from Alabama back in January, so they get him back on defense. He didn't really play at Alabama. He played a little bit when he was at Penn State the first time around. King Mack did. And yeah, so there's that. uh Bo Pribula goes to Missouri back in December. So Penn State at quarterback has Drew Aller, and again, that's really it for now. But what could they get? Transfer portal. Thing is, don't forget Nico's out there too. I'm just saying. But obviously, he's going to want to start somewhere. No one's going to go to Penn State at quarterback to, um, like, I mean, maybe someone with a few years left would go to back up Aller with that Bo Prabula leaving. Um, but no one's going to start over Aller. Latest on Nico, they're expecting him to go to UNC too, by the way. 100% chance there, but there's nothing's been official yet. Brendan Sullivan from Iowa, Trinidad Chambliss, he's going to Ole Miss. Who could they get? Drew Pine's going to Bowling Green. Cade Finnegan from BYU. Because I'm just saying, like, I know what you're thinking. No, well, they're never going to bench Aller or anything, but if he gets hurt, I hope that's not the case. You got to have a backup plan. And with Prabula leaving, you need to move someone up, or you need to go get someone from the portal. Cash McCollum, he's going somewhere. Kirkland Macho from Illinois. Who else could you get? Who's Harrison Bailey's going to Florida? Cade McNamara's leaving Iowa. I missed that. Why is he leaving? Mm, not a whole lot. I mean, I'm not going to say there's not big names right now, but uh, like if there are big names, they're already going somewhere. But I wouldn't worry about the quarterback position so much if I'm Penn State. Just keep Drew Aller healthy and you'll be okay. Otherwise, good luck. Nick Singleton comes back. Um, tight end. Who do they got? Can they get a transfer tight end? I bring that up because of Tyler Warren going pro. What about this Sam Hart from Colorado? Is he predicted anywhere? No, not yet. He entered yesterday. Class of 2024, former 3-star. Oklahoma's Devon Mitchell. Isaiah Cummings from Louisville, been in the portal since February 7th. So, anyway, if you're watching this back, again, thank you. Let me know any comments you have down below in the comments section. Any questions regarding Penn State, I'll look into it. Amari Niblack going to Texas A&M most likely. Still hasn't committed there yet. From Texas. Donovan Green to LSU. Matt Burns, Jack Nickel. I don't really know many of these names. Not a whole lot of big names out there. But Penn State got a good schedule. It sets up nicely. No tough games, no opener for the Big Ten until September 27th with Oregon at home. It should be a top 10, top 5 matchup, I would assume. I think Penn State wins that game close. Could be your whiteout this year. It could. I don't know what other game you would do a whiteout for at home unless you do Indiana or Nebraska. But I wouldn't waste your whiteout on Nebraska. I'm not trying to throw Nebraska under the bus, but like it's not your biggest home game. Oregon is. I think either Indiana or Oregon would be a whiteout for Penn State. You do have again their spring game a week from Saturday on April 26th, which is uh, at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's not going to be televised though, which I think is a good thing because that's part of draft weekend anyway, and people are going to watch that. So I will. We might go live for the draft too. I just do like a big marathon next Saturday if we can. Um, so we'll see. Anyway, I think I've said enough about Penn State today. I think that um, they're in a good position, and ultimately, they got a bright future ahead. I love y'all. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Good luck to Penn State.